Awesome.
Good morning, my beautiful ladies in Women Rising Above. How are you this morning? Happy first birthday in May. You're going to hear me say that a lot over the next month. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, a bit of an echo, technical issues. But ladies, I would love to introduce you to our wonderful guest for Tuesday Chats today, Yolanda Alvarez. How are you, my beautiful lady?
I am very well and so excited to be here, Ali. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me as your guest, and I can't wait to chat with you.
I can't wait to hear all about you too. I think this is, as I said, we've been kind of interacting, in groups for the last year or so, and this is the first time we've actually ever had a chance to speak in person. So I am looking very forward to getting to know all about you, Yolanda.
Same, likewise. Show me what you got.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So the first thing I want to ask you, and this is normally a very big question, and people just go, "What?" But I want to ask you, like, who is Yolanda today? Tell us about yourself today.
So today, Yolanda is so much more authentic. She knows herself all, as much as she can know. I'm sure there's a lot more that I can know about myself. But where I'm at, I can see different parts of myself. So there's the parts of me that will get there and nothing's going to stop her. And there's the parts of me that beat me down, that self-sabotage pattern, and accepting all of me is where Yolanda is at.
Beautiful, beautiful. So tell us a little bit of how you've come to be who you are today.
So I've had my share of life challenges, as many of us, as all of us do, really. I don't think anyone's exempt. It's just how we take it on. And it's just my who I am is I just deep dive into, even I'm not supposed to look, I will be looking. I will pick every weed that makes itself known. I will be working on it because I am I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my personal growth. Which is awesome, which I look at it in hindsight. Yes, there was that part of me that said, "Oh, Yolanda, you don't have to work on everything," but I just couldn't help it. I needed to know if that was affecting me. I wanted to get there. I want to know what it was about. What's that story? What's that belief that doesn't serve me? And nip it in the bud, which then allows me to have more joy than I ever did before, more freedom, more clarity, more sense, and really get excited when I go down in that slump. There's a part of me that gets excited to know, okay, what are we going to find out about me today?
Oh, yes, I know. Isn't it an amazing feeling, like when you start learning about yourself and you kind of get this amazing feeling, you go, oh, what else can I learn about myself? And it almost becomes an addiction, doesn't it?
It does. And I find that I'm then stepping into more places where I'm uncomfortable, because that allows me to peel off more layers.
Yes, exactly too. And I agree with that. Stepping into the uncomfort. Yes, that's something that I talk a lot on as well. So it is. It's a really weird feeling, but it's a really good feeling. And like I said, it can be addictive.
Yeah, and it's brilliant because you get to, I do feel so much more joy than I ever did because I have gone through that. Awesome. And I know myself that much more. And that's what I can do with the people I work with today. That's what I offer them. Go into the discomfort holding my hand. I walk with you in the discomfort so we can come out together and you get to enjoy that free, loving self that you can give to the world. And your family, because I am a parenting coach.
That's right. Exactly. So it's not just you, it's your family as well.
And guess what, Ali? It's also generational.
Yes. Yeah.
You break a generational pattern, which just drives me just insane that I get to do this work. I break generational patterns. So you no longer need to pass on that funk over and over and over again, because I had a whole load in me passed on generationally, but I refuse to pass that on to my girls.
Oh, that's amazing. I can just feel your energy coming off the screen, Yolanda. It's awesome. So I would really love to hear maybe one of the proudest moments that you have had throughout your life.
My proudest moments was seeing my girls shine their light and fly and feel a sense of freedom that I never did back in the day, but I know that they do because I chose a new path.
Right.
They put themselves out there. They step out into their discomfort. They challenge me. I love it that they challenge me. They pick my patterns and they say, "Mom, I can see that language you're using. It freaking excites me."
Wow.
Because can you imagine the adults they're going to be in the world if they've got this level of awareness? And yes, I take credit to myself.
And so
I
you
created
should.
this, and I should. However, they did choose me. I always say to them, you chose this crazy mom.
Oh,
And that's why you get to live life with so much more freedom and less confusion and no need for those. There's just no need to attract unnecessary drama in your life.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's something that I think I'm going to say to my kids from now on is that you chose this crazy mum. I like that line. I'm actually going to use that.
You can have it.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So how old are your daughters?
My oldest will be 21.
Oh, wow, right.
My oldest will be 21 in the next few weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And my youngest is turning 16. So I've got
Cool.
yeah, I'm a single mom with two gorgeous girls, and I decided they're not going to be living out those rubbish patterns.
Beautiful.
And creating a new reality. And they are, and I love the openness that we share. There's nothing that we cannot say to each other. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, that is amazing.
It is that transparent. We cry, we share the hurts even, and we share the joys, and there's depth in both the pain as well as the pleasure. There's depth, and I love that. And I enjoy that in all of my relationships today, because that's how I show up.
Beautiful. And I admire you for that. And I think it is special. It's really special to have that kind of relationship with our children, isn't it? And yeah, it's something very much to be proud of.
Yeah.
Yolanda, something that I ask all my guests to come on and talk about is, what's the biggest learning experience? So I don't refer to them as mistakes, because we all learn from our mistakes. So what's maybe something that you have learned from in your life?
My 22-year marriage.
Wow, tell me
22
more.
years. I was resilient. I kept going. I knew I would find a way out. I didn't know I was going to find my way out of the marriage. I was going to figure it out while I was in, is what I thought. And then I realized that, oh my God, I have learned what I'm here to learn. It transformed me, Ali. My marriage transformed me because I was so determined to make it work.
Wow.
And what I made work was me. And what I made work was realize that we are both happier. We are 4 happier people now, my kids included, from making this choice that I was resisting.
Wow.
There is no wrong, there is no right. It is what you choose it to be.
So you're saying that you were choosing to stay in the marriage to try and make it work, where something that you learned from it, that it was better off for everybody to be out of the marriage.
Yeah.
That's a powerful statement to make, Yolanda. And I think it's probably something that a lot of people, and a brave decision to do as well, to take as well, but something a lot of people, particularly women, probably wouldn't even think of taking that path. We would, I think for me personally, I the same thing, I fought for my marriages. I've had a couple. But in the long run too, it was better for us to be apart. But it's a very hard thing to accept when you're in it, isn't it? Because there's almost a stigma.
That's the journey I think that I had to take. Yes, the stigma came up, and even culturally, there was a big one there. And that was the journey of self-acceptance that I had to go on. I had to accept myself, which allowed me then to accept my ex for who he was. I accepted that had I been a different person, like today, had I gone back, number one, I wouldn't have chosen the relationship.
Yeah.
And number two, the way I'd approach it would be so much different. So I knew what I knew then, and it was the best that I was doing, and it was the best that he was doing given his experiences too. it's that level of acceptance that I had to come to while I was in the marriage, and then leave it when I did choose to leave it, leaving it from, I'd like to say, my higher self, recognizing that it was the best for him first and then for me.
Exactly, and that's also why I don't refer to them as mistakes. I say as learning experience, because from my point of view, you know, people say to me, do you see your marriage as a mistake? And I say absolutely not, because I learned from both of them, particularly my first marriage where I had my children. How could we ever call that a mistake? And I would assume, you know, do you kind of feel the same way?
Definitely not a mistake. It was what made me who I am today, and allows me to have this life of freedom within myself. I'm not talking about freedom externally. It's the freedom to be me, to be unapologetically, authentically, vulnerably me.
Unbelievable.
That was the gift of the 22 years. While I was in it, I thought it was a jail sentence.
Yeah.
You get less for murder.
Oh, you're well done. I'm lost for words, Yolanda. That's very good.
You can borrow that one too.
Yeah, but we do think about it that way, don't we? Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. So tell us, Yolanda, if you could go back and speak to a younger version of yourself then, what would you say?
I would just say, I love you. You are loved. You've always been loved.
Beautiful. And is there a specific time when you would go back to say that?
I'd go back to right from, you know, my low self-esteem, 8-year-old self who couldn't stand up in class, who was so afraid to be spoken to because I stuttered. I couldn't say a single sentence without stammering and feeling such low self-esteem, so not good enough, such a waste of space. Wow. I just go to that 8-year-old self and just hold her and cry with her and allow her to feel through all of that and really bring her out of that the only person she's looking for love from is herself. No one in the world can match her need for love, and she has it and I have it for her.
See, that's an amazing thing to go back and tell your younger self, particularly, you know, like you say, at 8 years old. So I think probably at that age is when we're looking for love from everybody else, you know, and we need to remember to bring it back to ourselves, don't we?
That's right. And which is funny. I look back and I think, why do I do the things that I do? I actually began my events for kids. So I run kids empowerment events for 8-year-olds from 8 to 12. Those are all my most disempowered years. I didn't even realize it till one day, just hold on here. What am I doing? That was my most disempowered self, which is what, it's funny if we look back and see how our life unfolds. You know, maybe you've got moments like that too, Ali, you know, yeah. And as parents, we reflect that back on our kids. Yeah. So when our kids are those ages when we felt challenged, we will find our stuff, we're living it through them and putting our fears on them, which they didn't ask for.
No, so, I agree.
So important for parents to do the work within themselves so we can set ourselves free, but more importantly, our kids free.
Yes, because we're leaving the legacy for them, aren't we? They are our legacy in a sense, yeah.
I don't subscribe to that they just come in individually, but we are putting our stuff on them. Yeah. They've got their own plan, they've got their own journeys and their purpose. We are just here to support them. We have nothing, no ties other than just there to support other beings who we are all connected to.
Beautiful. That's gorgeous. I love that. So let's get, and I love the fact that, yes, and that has happened to me too, actually, Yolanda, when you know, you start to teach things and then you go, oh my goodness, this is why, because, and all of a sudden you start to have these memories of things that have happened to you. I totally hear where you're coming from. It's amazing. So I think that's really amazing that, you know, 8 to 12-year-olds. Fantastic. And I'll ask you a little bit about that in a minute. But another question I want to ask you is, so, you know, if you fast forward to 10 years from now, if you're stepping into your future self, ask, where will you be? What will you be doing?
I will be doing exactly what I'm doing right now, talking to amazing people like you, just going with probably more in the flow, because my kids would be older, so I wouldn't have that need to, to have the obligation to support them. So I'd be freaking free as a bird, and living on the beach somewhere, and just yeah, sand between my toes, and jumping on lives like this, and running group coachings like I do now. I run them on a Monday night. Every Monday night I have a group of most beautiful parents on their own emotional mastery journey.
That's beautiful. And I love, I love the fact that you're saying 10 years from now, you'll still be doing what you're doing now, maybe just on a bigger scale. That's awesome. That excites me to know that you're already doing it.
I'm already doing it. I'm already there. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's incredible, Yolanda. So what is maybe one piece of advice that you would like to give the ladies in this group, from maybe your perspective, I mean, as a parenting coach, or whatever piece of advice you would like to share?
Yeah, I'd like to say to them, how full is your cup? And from a scale of 0 to 10, what is your level of guilt as a parent? Right. Because guilt is the big one, and I just want them to recognize that guilt does not serve their kids. Feelings of guilt is a burden on the people that are attached to that emotion of guilt. And sometimes just knowing that, the awareness of this is enough.
Wow, that's huge, actually. And if you don't mind, I'll share something with you that actually has come to me recently. It was and this is very interesting. I was actually last year sitting in a park and it was a beautiful sunny day, and I was waiting to meet up with a friend for coffee. And what I saw was a lot of these women with their toddlers, with their prams. It was a beautiful sunny Friday morning. And I went back to when I left my first husband, and I went back to the fact that, and I started to feel guilty because I wasn't able to provide my children with what I perceived to be a happy upbringing. Do you know what I mean? And I had an overwhelming feeling of guilt. So I really appreciate that advice.
Yeah.
Had that experience and haven't actually been able to get it out of my mind ever since.
Oh, beautiful. You and I have to have a chat about that.
There you go.
So yeah, so think about, where has this pattern come up for you? Is it, from the way you were raised, society, culture around you makes we wear our guilt without recognizing, like a badge of honor. Oh, I feel guilty that I didn't do that. Or how many times we feel that and think that it's the right thing to do, that we are a good person because we feel this way.
That's true.
And turn it around. Have you been a good mom? Have you given the best that you can in your capability to your kids? How much have you? That what other moms will probably have that. Other families may not, because your journey has allowed you to step out and do more and be more aligned with yourself, which allows you to then give that to your kids.
Absolutely. And then on the other side of that, I was talking to my beautiful kids. My kids are in the mid-20s, and we were reminiscing the other day of when what was it we were saying? When I had very little money to buy them food, and I used to serve them mac and cheese, but I used to put little smiley faces on the mac and cheese. So I'd do so they were going, what were the eyes? The eyes were cucumbers. The mouth was like a tomato cut in half. We couldn't remember what the nose or the ears were, but we were laughing at the funny things that I used to do to make them
make your mac and cheese look fun and exciting.
What do we call it? Smiley face mac and cheese. I don't know.
That is brilliant. That is so beautiful.
So that and so what I'm trying to say is say that is really, really good advice, and thank you for sharing it with our beautiful members in this.
My pleasure.
We have so many amazing ladies and parents, mums in this group as well, so I'm sure they're going to be very grateful as well. Now, Yolanda, it is promo day in the group today, so do you have something specific that you would like to share with our members?
I have emotional resilience to share with your members.
Beautiful.
Emotional resilience for parents who intend to raise emotionally resilient kids, because I believe that our own emotional resilience is a gift to our kids, to the families, to our partners, and more importantly, to ourselves, because emotions can really take us on a whole whirlwind. And our emotions are what drive us down that path where we feel lack of control. So that's the gift I want to give all of your members to, at least the first 5 who would like to come and have a free ticket to my 90-minute parenting workshop, which is coming up on the 15th of May. It's a Saturday, runs at 10:30 a.m. Melbourne time, so probably would be a bit earlier for you.
10 a.m. for Adelaide people.
10 a.m. Adelaide, that's right. So so I'll put the link. I'm sure my VA is on top of it. She's probably got the link in the comment section there already to jump. She has, there you go. And so jump on, sign on. I look forward to supporting you to build that emotional resilience, because the gifts that we give ourselves is that we allow ourselves to be free of the doubts and all that, the lack of trust and all of that, the guilt and the not good enough stories that don't serve us. Time to let it go.
Oh, I love that, Yolanda. So there you go, people. If you would like to join Yolanda on, you said Saturday, 15th of May. Click the link in the comments and get on in. I have no doubt that you are going to absolutely love what Yolanda's going to share with us all. So thank you for coming on today, beautiful lady.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It has been a wonderful chat, and hang around because I want to chat to you a little bit more after this. Thank you, my beautiful girls. We will see you again, and don't forget, this is our birthday month, so if you want to find out about all the different competitions that you can enter, go to the pin post and you will find out all about it. All right, my lovely ladies, I will catch you again soon. Bye.
Bye.